Hi, let me introduce myself. My name is Svjetlana Kalanj Bognar. I'm a medical doctor. I work as the professor at the School of Medicine, University of Zagreb. And my field of teaching and research is biochemistry, neurochemistry, and basic neuroscience. But for several years now, I'm also functioning as editor-in-chief of Croatian Medical Journal.
So tell me a little bit about the first 30 years of the Croatian Medical Journal.
So the journal was founded in a small country, Croatia, in 1992, during the circumstances which were really hard. So it was the wartime back then in Croatia. But the idea itself to found the scientific journal, which will enable visibility of local scientists in a so-called periphery of the science, was really very much important. And I think it had not only the impact on Croatian scientists, but also on some of other countries in the region. And the reason why it was so much important was due to, in fact, legacy of the first founders and editors of the Croatian Medical Journal, uh, Matko Marušić and Ana Marušić, professor then at School of Medicine of University of Zagreb. And their vision was really not only to make the science, local science, visible in international space, but also to somehow, educate authors, and also to take care about the integrity, the ethics of the publishing, of the societal responsibility of the medical journals, etc. One of the really big success of the previous editors was that the journal was founded in 1992. But already in 1998, it was like integrally present in the Scopus database. And also it was from 1998 in Medline. And in current contents, it was from 1999. And for the Croatia, this was the first medical journal out of some 40 medical journals. It was the first one in the current contents. And you are aware that for each medical journal and each scientific journal, it is very much important to be in those big databases, to be visible and to be considered as important and serious journal.
So now, after the first 30 years of the journal, and you're the editor in chief, what are the achievements and challenges that you see in your role?
So maybe, being editor for 3 or 4 years give you some kind of the insight how the journal is working in some everyday sense, encountering different problems like how to really gather quality papers, how to find quality reviewers, how to enable enough of the financing for the journal. So these are some everyday problems by which each editor encounters. But otherwise, what is the not the problem, but what is the challenge is to find some specific niche or some specific field which will make us a little bit different from other medical journals. The mission of the medical journals is not only to be like the compartment, okay, like something which is just for specialists, just for professionals. This is fine, but at a certain point, we have to transfer that knowledge to other people. So I believe that in that sense, medical journals could find important niche.
How do you see the next 30 years of the Croatian Medical Journal?
So this is really a tough question because our journal, being a small journal, is also academic journal. So when you ask this kind of question, then we have to understand what is the business model of the Croatian Medical Journal. So we are the journal which is owned by three schools of medicine in Croatia. And we are depending completely in the financial sense from the government, which pays schools of medicine. So in the business model, we are not some, huge business. We are completely non-profitable journal. And also we have the model, which is fantastic, I believe, which is diamond open access model, meaning that we are completely non-profitable, that the whole materials are available to everyone who wants to read the papers published in CMJ. And also we do not have any article processing charges for authors. So completely non-profitable open access publishing model. I sincerely hope that this kind of functioning will be possible because publishing, depends anyway on some money. There is no free lunch, unfortunately. Myself, I would very much like to live in the society in which the opportunity to get knowledge and to knowledge to be available in any kind of forms will be completely free, and that you do not any charges for that, for going to educate yourself, to get some information. But this is unfortunately maybe a little bit of utopia now. And I really would like that we do maintain this kind of functioning, that we are completely non-profitable, and that we are completely open access. I think that we are basically one of the rare journals which have this kind of policy. And related to the contents, we will try to stay, in our category, which is general medicine category. Evidently, this is also very tough category if we are talking about estimation by bibliometric analysis, because we are in the category with journals such as New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, BMJ, etc. So the journals with whom it is really, really very hard to compete. So in next 30 years, maybe the policy should be not to run so much and to be focused to impact factors. So what I said before about the mission of the journal to educate not only authors and reviewers, but also to present new stuff in medicine, advances in technology, in medical technology to general audience, and to be some kind of, really mediator and educator. This is something which I think is believe, and that CMJ could have this role, could maintain this role or develop more this kind of role in next 30 years. And maybe try to find some of the topics which are maybe of the local character, but also can have some global importance. And I have the feeling, and I think data are showing this, that we are in the world which may seem very global and very connected by internet technology, so everything is globalized. But on the other hand, the availability to healthcare, to evidence-based information, and the differences between wealthy nations and the other ones is really huge.
And what has it been like for you personally as editor of the Croatian Medical Journal?
It is not always, working as the editor has many challenges. Sometimes you are very much happy, sometimes you are, like not very happy, okay, because the things can be difficult, but it is also very much fun. It is very much fun to work as the editor. And there is some kind, or crazy passion for publishing for people who are doing that job, besides doing some other job like teaching or working as the scientist. And this is why our motto also this year, passion for publishing and publishing with passion. I think this also describes nicely. It is not maybe very original motto, but I think this nicely describes the efforts and the enthusiasm of everyone who is doing the job as editors, the whole editorial team, the editor-in-chiefs, the students who are coming to help, etc. So this is fun. This is fun.
Thank you very much for taking us through the 30-year history of CMJ, the current state of CMJ, and your vision for the future of CMJ. Thank you very much indeed.